I don't even know
Are
if
we
that...
gonna die in 7 days now? Like,
I don't actually know if the feed will have picked that up or not. That's the wild thing.
yeah, well, we'll just sound like some very concerned idiots.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of my whole thing anyways.
I thrive on that.
But yeah, Mumbo, in this game, he shows up and he's the guy who makes things a little bit more interesting in the levels that he's in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then in the second game, he provides a similar function, but he does it differently, where you play as him and you get to use his witchcraft to
Like move
modify
things
things.
Yeah,
move a thing, turn a whatever, awaken a golem in the first level. You get to awaken a golem, and then you get to play as a golem. It's freaking...
That's pretty sick.
It's wild, yeah. And then you've got Humba takes the role of the Transformer character in that, of course. But in Nuts and Bolts, the way that he helps assist you in modifying your gameplay to make things more interesting is he is the mechanic.
That makes so much sense.
And he's wearing like his Oshbagosh coveralls, and instead of his magic wand, he's got a big wrench. Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
It's a really natural progression for the character, I think, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, again,
it's a shame that Nuts and Bolts sucks.
It's a shame that Nuts and Bolts is just nuts. Thank you. Chalk one up for the good guys.
Here's Tuesday.
God. And it's like, there's so many interesting things about that game, like individual tiny elements that are interesting. Like there's this function, your main vehicle that you get to drive around in the hub world is this sort of, it's like a trolley. It's got like
I've seen the trolley.
Yeah, it's got a big thing in front of it that you use to move things around.
And you build like things out of stuff.
And when you complete like what's referred to as kind of like a boss mission on a world, you unlock a new feature that you can utilize while driving the thing around Showdown Town, which is the name of the town that the whole thing takes place in. So you start off and you've got regular old trolley. First thing that you unlock in addition is special all-terrain tires.
Okay.
And so that makes it so that you can go up steep hills. So all of a sudden,
the Talon Trot of that game.
It's the Talon Trot, exactly. And you can have these special all-terrain wheels on your carts that you use for certain missions. But once you get it for Showdown Town, once you get it permanently unlocked for your cart, you unlocked access to a huge extra part of the world.
Yeah.
Then you get things like there's a spring that you can unlock that makes it so that you can clear gaps, and all of a sudden more of the world is available.
Yeah.
And eventually you get a laser beam, which is pretty cool, and you can use it for doing some like light reassignment and stuff like that. Like it's not like the most useful thing in Showdown Town because there's cops, Grand Theft Auto style, and if you fuck around too much with the people of the town, the cops come for you. But
it's very Banjo.
Yes, very. And they'll arrest you, which is fucking silly to think about. But
you should put this bear in jail. You're coming with us.
Banjo, you're under arrest. Something about picnic baskets. But fuck you. Wake up. And in that trolley is where you put most of your special things. Like if you find an item chest, you put the item chest in the trolley, you drive it to Mumbo's, and he unlocks the chest for you.
Okay.
Easy. You get access to new items and stuff like that. With that trolley, though, it's also when you clear a mission in an actual world.
You have the Clankers Kevin right now?
No, I was just checking it out because I know that there's bonus shit, but you have to unlock them in the right sequence. First
by the way, in terms of playing this game, dibs on not doing Clanker's Cavern?
Yeah, I'll do Clanker's Cavern. That's fine. You can take the beach.
Sure. Treasure Trove Cove?
Treasure Trove Cove. Now, I unlocked you Treasure Trove Cove. I think I have to go down here. No, it's down in the next room. But yeah, once you clear a mission, you unlock a Jiggy. And then you go out of the level, and you turn a crank, and that brings the Jiggy into Showdown Town. And you got to drive it from wherever you unlocked it over to the super Jiggy meter or whatever, and that's where you start adding up your totals.
Right.
And there's this really just like satisfying thing that you can do where if you unlock a couple of Jiggies all at once, like you can get 5 or 6 at a time, sort of thing, depending on how you're playing and if you're going for bonus content and stuff like that. You can fill your cart up with like 6 Jiggies, and they're like designed so that they sort of magnet to each other.
Yeah.
So that they stay in the cart while you're taking turns and stuff like that. So there's this incredibly like Scrooge McDuckian satisfying thing where you're driving the cart and there's this like huge stack of gold teetering. Like it's it's so good. And
there's something satisfying about cashing in like a big payout like that. Like I would do that in Super Mario Odyssey. I would just save all of my moons.
Turn in like 200 moons at once.
You just cash in like as many as you can at once, and like that's part of the thing.
Yeah, it's so good. All right, Treasure Trove Cove is all yours.
Right. At this point, gotta say, kind of regretting letting you do the tutorial.
Yeah, no kidding. So long form short. Left trigger again is to crouch. You hold it. If you are crouching and you hit the Y button, that's how you shoot forward. X. Get out of the water.
I know. I see it.
I know you know.
I pressed X and nothing happened. Get out of your shark face.
Yeah, hold X. There you go. And then you keep holding X to do the fast swim.
And then you drive around the thing.
And then you get on the other side of the Jinjo and leave him to drown.
Yeah, basically.
Classic moves. These are just banjo tactics, you know?
See, this is why I went for this Jinjo first, because I know I'm full health. I'm at the most health I will ever have, and I know there's a bunch of, like, Sparrow Honeycombs.
Enemies to kill all over the place.
And, like, I'm not gonna, like... I got this.
Not gonna finish that thought. Nope.
Nope, I don't got this.
There's
there's a bee's nest.
There's a bouncing honeycomb thing, I think, over to the right. Yeah, that's pretty good.
He gives 2. It's fine.
That's pretty good.
God damn it.
There it is.
One more thing in the water to collect. Anyway, you were saying nuts and bolts, Scrooge McDucky and teetering pile of gold.
Yeah, it's just very satisfying. And then, like you say, with turning in like 200 moons at once in Mario Odyssey, it's like you get 6 of those things going, and it just like ascends into this like godlike gold vase in the sky, and you just get to watch it. It plays this classic Grant Kirkhopian tune that's just like the most satisfying thing to hear, and it's just like, I have done it!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm big about like satisfaction, you know?
Mm-hmm. If it feels good, it's good.
Totally.
And, I mean, Grant Kirkhope is like, if I could meet a composer in my life, it would be Kirkhope. Like, he's incredible, that boy.
He does some good tunes. He did Mario plus Rabbids.
I was actually, that's the next thing I was going to bring up. The first game that I got for my Switch, because it came with the Switch that I got, was Mario plus Rabbids, and I was playing it, and I was like, man, it feels like I'm playing Banjo-Kazooie right now. And then I watched...
You realized the reason for that.
Yeah, I watched The Completionist, Gerard Khalil. Mm-hmm. He did a video on Rabbids when it initially came out, and he was all super into it, and then he was like, and they got Kirkhope to do the music. And it was like that moment in Memento where all of a sudden it's all rushing back to me. Yeah. Here you go.
See, there's no problem for health. There's plenty of it.
There's plenty of health, and those guys will respawn, and you can skin them alive again.
Yeah, it's what I do.
This is the Ben way.
I skin things alive
and just really make the most of it.
It's kind of my whole shtick.
I'm gonna go refill my Snapple.
All right.
Don't do anything exciting in the next 2 minutes.
I'll just finish Treasure Trove Cove.
Oh, that's easy.
Ah, fuck. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Ben.
Which button do I press to talk to Bottles?
X.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I just like hopped up onto the mole thing and I was just like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, classic. Classic playing a game with a control scheme you've never had to use before.
I did play it with the not Xbox One. But the
360?
The 360.
Alright, yeah, it's pretty similar.
It's pretty similar, but like I haven't played that in a very long time.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there were not a lot of changes between the Xbox One and the Xbox 360 controller, like moving up in generation. Yeah. But the changes that they did make were just purely ergonomic. I would any day of the week argue wildly in favor of the Xbox One controller as just like a good framework for a controller.
This is my first time like really like, you know,
playing
with the Xbox One controller.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I'm impressed.
It's pretty good, right?
I like it.
It's just like it makes sense to hold.
It feels good to hold. I mean, like I'm a GameCube controller guy. That's my
because the GameCube controller is probably the best controller design, full stop.
Like the face buttons are just like, you got the most important one, the A button, and it's like right there.
It's very big.
It's the biggest one. It takes all the space on the controller.
It's the one that you need to tap the most frequently and the most often.
Yes.
Yeah. It's all good news.
And then like you got the X and the Y button, like just like you just slide your thumb over.
Slight additions.
It's there, yeah. Mm-hmm. And like the B button is like also right there. Like it's a good look for a controller. Speaking of fighting the camera.
Nah. I always
I'm just gonna drain the lake.
yeah, drain the lake and then he just blows up on his own time.
Just gotta find my way back up now.
There you go. Yeah, good old controller feel. That's also really important. Like, believe me, at this point in my life and time on this entire content creation website, I get that more people play the PlayStation than play the Xbox by a pretty significant margin. And as a result of that, I am missing sorely in some of the exclusives and fun times that my friends are participating in.
Yeah.
But any day of the week, I would take an Xbox One controller over a PS4 controller. Just
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And I don't have an Xbox One, but I do have a PS4.
there you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Yup.
I never got why this crab was like the Shadow the Hedgehog of the crabs.
I know, right? That's very true.
I had a thought for a second there, and I completely lost it. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. I know we spoke out loud to each other as human beings before we started recording, but Benjamin, what games have you been playing lately?
Well, I started Bloodborne. And
Another one of those games I will never be able to play.
Yeah. Where's the Zed? Come on, Zed. There's the Zed.
Can you tell we're in Canada?
Yeah, I know, right? I'll just sing.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been playing Bloodborne. I played it a little bit when I lived with a friend of mine. But we were kind of passing the controller back and forth, much like you and I are doing now. And then I went to work, and I came home, and he was still playing it. So.
Yeah, see, I think Banjo is a much more forgiving controller pass game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what you get, Shadow the Crab Hog.
Shadow the Crab Hog. Yeah, Bloodborne is very much like I could totally do that. You just drop the ball super hard. Like, give me that controller kind of thing. Whereas Banjo-Kazooie is like, we finished the level. It's your turn now.
Exactly. And it's like, it's not like if all of a sudden if right now you stepped out of the room and suddenly you came back into the room and I had just finished Clanker's Cavern.
Yeah.
Like, if that happened,
I would more be impressed. I'd be like, holy shit.
But you would still be able to pick up the controller and continue playing the game.
Yeah.
Whereas the difficulty curve on games like Bloodborne and the Souls games are so unrelenting that if you don't sort of get a feel for how things play at a certain level, jumping in later on in the game is unforgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I would never jump in on one of my brother's profiles
I don't have the...
You could hit the first X if you wanted to, but...
I'm not about that life. I'll do it all in one go, or I won't do it at all.
And then you're going to forget one tiny thing and miss it, just like Scott does.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's going to be a thing that happens. Let's just accept that right now.
Guaranteed. Oh my god, I hate that, yeah.
Because you slide down there, don't you?
You can slide down them, and you can walk straight up them. Anything else on the recent played list?
Yeah, I'm buying a bunch of games from a friend of mine, and I'm actually one of them is Banjo-Tooie, so I'm sort of waiting on that.
I think there's something at the bottom of this lake.
I think there is. I think it's a light,
skull?
though, isn't it?
It might be a skull.
It might be a skull.
Or a honeycomb. Ouch.
That's fine.
Try it out.
Oh,
It's a Jiggy! Look at us. Being stupid assholes.
Listen, we knew we had to go down there.
For context, Ben is like a proper traditionalist when it comes to playing old games.
Yeah, I prefer to play it on the console it came out on.
Not on this crappy port. That's a very good port.
It's actually an exceptional port.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I will harp on about this port, and it's only an issue in this port, is that the weird anime eyes that they gave to the Jinjos.
Yeah, I was actually going to say earlier, like, the Jinjo's eyes are very anime.
They look, what's the opposite of Sundare?
You got me.
They look like the cute and innocent anime
There's
girl.
Your skull. See,
Yeah,
you were right, there is one.
I just had the wrong pool in mind. Also, that's one thing, is that in Mario 64, you can ground pound straight into the water and swim out of it. And this one, you kind of
that's the game that I've been playing most recently. So.
There you go.
What else have I been playing? Let's see.
I personally, while you're thinking about it, because I mean, this is a spoiler for something that I already kind of spoiled earlier, but I've been playing Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How is that? I've heard both good things and bad.
That is, for context, I'm sure it doesn't need much context, but the most recent game that Rare put out, for those of you not familiar.
This is a very Rare-themed session here,
Exactly. We got lots to talk about with Rare. It's almost like you and I both like Rare a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game, honestly, I think the only problem that I have with it right now is, like, because, first of all, the game plays physically incredibly. It feels so good to play.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this whole element to the game where you have to accept a mission,
mm-hmm.
and you have to, you know, if you have a crew of people and everybody's got a couple of mission prompts, you get to put them all down on a big trunk in the captain's quarters, and everybody takes a knife and sticks it in the one that they want to go on, and that's how you vote for your mission.
Man, I'm so into that.
Which is super cool, right? And before I start talking about the gameplay, every single frame of that game is beautiful.
I've seen some ocean physics for that game.
Mm-hmm. Some of the best looking water I've ever seen in a video game, as well as some of the most well colored and well lit. Like, it's just everything. I love how that game looks, and the character design does a lot of sort of pseudo blocky geometric stuff that you can kind of trace back to Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks great because they don't, like, overemphasize it. It's just like the cheekbones are very sharp and, like, shapely and stuff like that. So the characters all look really fun. They all look kind of dumb too, but it's dumb in that intentionally, like, we're a bunch of scoundrels sort of way, which is super cool. Game feels great, but the most interesting thing about it is actually the transportation mechanics. Like, you have to raise and lower your anchor appropriately to move from place to place. You have to raise and lower your sails to make it either move faster or easier to turn, depending on how close you are to a body of water or a landmass or whatever. You have to it's just like so much work goes into it. You have to constantly check your map and your compass to make sure you're still heading in the right direction.
Like the gameplay is like moving around in the world for the most part.
Exactly.
Right?
It's mostly that transportational thing, and then there's a lot of this is going to get into the things that I have to complain about with the game. There's a lot of combat with other players, but playing it on your own is super fun. I played it for the first time with a friend a couple of days ago. He got it on his PC, and it's cross-compatible from Xbox to PC, which is super cool.
I'm all about that cross-compatible life.
Yeah, it's
Rocket League, like Minecraft,
boom,
all of them. You can play it on any system.
Street Fighter 5.
You can play PC and PS4.
It's pretty good. Except most people who are playing it on console have way shittier latency than people who are playing it on PC.
Yes.
But it's super good. I sat down with a good buddy of mine. He and I became a pirate crew. You can get 2 different types of ship depending on how large of a crew you have or how large of a crew you want to be put onto. Mm-hmm. So we went with a sloop, which is a small ship, easily controlled by one person. Super fun to have 2 people on.
Yeah.
You got one person adjusting for the winds. That was me. I was being the first mate. Mm-hmm. Then you got one person who's like checking the bearings and adjusting the sails so that you're picking up the wind as ideally as you can and stuff, which is super fun.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so immersive in that sort of gameplay where you just like, you feel like you're putting a lot of work in, and it's immediately gratifying.
There's a game that's kind of like that sort of, it like almost did it, but like
kind of. It was a Steam game.
Yeah, well, it was like, and it was also, what was it called? But you were like a sky pirate.
Oh, see, there's a video that I watched by, I'm not sure if you're overly familiar with the YouTube sensation Video Game Donkey.
Yes.
Yeah, Donkey did a video where he played this pirate game that looked like crappy, older Sea of Thieves.
I would say that's probably a fair comparison. Have you taught me how to fly yet?
Nope. But yeah, no, Sea of Thieves, everything feels great about it. Everything looks great about it. It's super fun. The missions are a lot of fun. You can like randomly, like I went to an island to get a chest that I had a prompt for. Mm-hmm. And I found a crate of sugar, like a discarded crate of sugar.
Nice.
The chest goes to the gold hoarding sort of faction. The sugar goes to the merchants. I just got free faction points for the merchants guild.
Just for finding
the thing and bringing it back with me. It's super cool.
All right.
My big beef is that even if you have at least one other friend, 9 times out of 10, if you do happen to encounter an enemy or like another player, they will make themselves your enemy.
Yeah.
Like it's so, like the first time I played, I got into a lobby and I saw I had one of the orders, one of the 3 factions requests. They do sort of skull hunts is kind of the style of the mission. Where,
like bounty hunters kind of thing?
Well, kind of, yeah. You have to track down a skeleton crew.
Yeah.
And you have to waste the crew, and then you have to kill the captain. And when you kill the captain, you can pick up their enchanted skull. And you bring the skull back to the Order of the Soul, is what they're called. And when you do that, they give you gold and prestige and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
all that good stuff.
Which is awesome, yeah. And then they will send you on more missions with more complex things. Sometimes they'll send you after 2 separate crews at a time or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was doing a bunch of missions for the Order of the Souls because I had done a bunch of missions for the Gold Hoarders, and I was like, let's try something else.
You gotta get those faction points.
Exactly. And as I'm going...
I
beans.
screwed the pooch.
I have accrued at this point because I found a stray skull in a sunken ship, and I've killed a couple of crews. I've got 4 skulls on my boat.
Oh,
right?
nice.
And then I'm going for my last one, and I'm really near the outpost, which is where I can turn them all in.
Yeah.
And I get to the island that I'm headed to fight the crew that I'm going to fight, and I start fighting them. And then I turn around, and I see that there's a very, very large galleon ship parked right near my my little tiny baby sloop.
And they're going to take your skulls,
and I wave to them to try and, I just go, hey, and, fingers crossed.
They respond with cannon fire.
Well, they didn't, but they did try to shoot me with a sniper rifle. But they were a very bad shot. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just do what I can and hope that they don't sink my fucking ship or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I get the skull. I kill the bad guys. I get the skull. I bring it with me back to my ship. And I come back, and all of my skulls are missing. Because it's a crew of 4, and I had 4 on my boat. So they got out, and each one took one. And there's a hole in my ship from when they shot it. And I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I'll start patching these holes, and I'll get out of here with my 1 skull, and it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the plan.
Where's that Jinjo?
At very least, that was the plan. And I, up to your immediate left. Right there.
There he is. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So I get back on, I start patching the ship, I start bailing water. Also, go grab that jiggy.
Come on, where'd the jiggy go?
It's right where the Jinjo was.
Yeah.
So I start patch the holes, bail the water, and then all of a sudden I get hit again. So clearly they've circled back.
Yeah.
And I'm out of wood at this point. I can't keep fixing the holes. So I just start bailing water and hoping that they kind of, give me a break and fuck off. And eventually, all 4 of them get on my boat while I'm still bailing water, and I'm throwing water in their faces because I'm trying to just get it off my ship. And they're standing there and they're trying to shoot me with their guns, but again, I think they just had really bad internet connection because they missed me a lot of times.
Maybe you're just really good though.
Maybe I am. That's true. And then I heard one of them through his microphone say, "You want to fucking go?" I was like, "What part of this interaction led you to believe that I wanted to go?"
What?
Why are you? You're like a Mountain Dew, bro. What is your damage?
What? Why do you think this is a situation that I want to be in?
Yeah. So to that end, there's. The community so far has not won me over, but the game and the gameplay itself is incredible. I absolutely love the game. And when me and my buddy played it, and we had the 2 of us, we sunk a couple of ships. People fucked with us, and we gave it our all. We killed some bad dudes.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
Yeah, but I mean, having even 1 extra person does help. But we got screwed over. There's raids in the game.
Oh yeah.
If you see a plume of smoke that looks like a skull, that's where a big boss raid is happening.
Man, I like pirate stuff.
Yeah.
I just think I really like pirate stuff.
I think you would enjoy playing this, just getting hands-on in this game at some point.
Where's that big red X at?
Big red X is on the other side. No, it's that tower that you're looking at right there, that spire.
You are right.
Yeah.
Let's head over there.
But yeah, it's if you see the big skull pluming in the sky that's shooting lightning out of it, that's where a raid's gonna happen.
It's just some good old-fashioned pirate imagery.
Yeah, right? And I'll circle back to pirate imagery in a second here, but...
We're in the right place for it.
I figured, yeah. Treasure Trove Cove, baby. This probably inspired the game in some way.
I mean, I don't want to say yes, but, probably.
Yeah.